The 10 most dangerous band toys. What was a dangerous toy we had growing up? I actually genuinely can't think of one. I really gotta think. No, low-key a metal slinky or some shit. Y'all ever had like a metal slinky? Easy bake oven? I never got to use that, bro. Because when I was younger, you know, it was some girly. And I thought if I had an easy bake oven, dudes were gonna think I was gay. So I could never have one of those. I always wanted one of them though. They like seem so cool. Oh yeah, scooter. No, the scooter. Oh my god. I swear, there's some kids with lacerations. And they're like still, they have skid marks from hitting their ankle on the scooter.
On Twitch.
Let's watch this video. Top 10 most dangerous band toys, Phantom Strider.
Howdy. You know, there were some toys in
I might have to speed it up because he talks slow. We'll see.
history that were simply bad ideas. In fact, some were such dangerous, stupid ideas for toys that they were—
Bro, is that a arrow? What the hell is this? Are these look like arrows? I've shot a bow before. Is this not a weapon? Lawn darts? What is a lawn dart? I've never used a lawn dart in my life. Or it kind of looks like badminton, like the badminton without the wing thing or plastic thing. Or I don't know what it's called on the badminton thing.
were completely recalled and never allowed back on the shelf. Unfortunately, some of these toys caused very serious harm to people, and some may just leave you bewildered and wondering, how did anyone consider this a safe kid's toy? So we're going to look through nearly 100 years worth of trinkets today to find the 10 banned and most dangerous toys of all time. And just a heads up in advance, my deepest respects go out to any families or individuals who might have been injured by these toys.
What did the doll do to your hair? Ate it.
I can't imagine what you went through, and this video means no disrespect to you. Anyway, on to the countdown.
Sounds like a school issue.
Starting with number 10.
What the f is that little robot doing?
Slip and slide.
Oh, never mind. Slip and slides? What? Slip and slides? How? How is that possible? Bro, I was using slip and slides as a kid. They banned it? Actually, it says most dangerous. Maybe they didn't ban it. Maybe they didn't ban it. Yo, slip and slides was the shit though. Like when you was broke, right on the lawn, bro. Like instead of going to the pool, you didn't have a pool. You just pulled out the slip and slide, and you have fun with that shit.
Slide.
From where?
It got people paralyzed.
AKA the wet banana. Huh, really?
Okay,
I actually
that's
had
worse,
one of
man.
these in the 90s.
I'm glad
they
they
were
went
very
with slip and
popular
slide.
in Australia. I still remember the first time I slid down this thing. Raz and I had tons of fun sliding down these in the backyard. In fact, slip and slides have been around since way back in 1961. And as I said, you may remember this toy as Wet Banana. Yeah, that name didn't age very well.
I've never heard
Could
that.
that be Mom on Wet Banana?
Anyway, between 1960
That must have been an Australian thing, because in America, we never called it the wet banana. I don't remember anybody ever being like when I was a kid, kids weren't ever like, yo, let's go ride the wet banana. Where did that come from?
61 and 1992, nearly 9 million of these were sold to the public. However, come
Rip that man's
1993,
neck.
the slip and slides were officially recalled, because these slides were not designed with the adult or teenager's weight or size in mind. In fact,
Let's go ride the wet
tragically,
banana.
by 1993, 1 teenager and 7 adults had become paralyzed or received neck injuries after playing with these slides. Mainly
Okay, but where did they use it though? Because you're supposed to be using it in like a short distance, like. I remember some people used to get their slip and slides and lead it into a pool, and then they end up like hitting their head or something on the concrete. Like, no shit, you're gonna hit your head.
because of the abrupt stop at the end. Although the slides were recalled in the 90s, they reappeared on the shelves in the 2000s
I was about to say,
with
I had
one
one.
major safety warning, indicating that only ages 5 to 12 should ever use these slides.
Oh, damn.
Though I do seem to remember one particular critic that reminded us of this ad.
Could that be Mom on Wet Banana? It is!
And I kind of thought that having Mum on the Wet Banana in your Wet Banana commercial was kind of an endorsement of allowing Mum on the Wet Banana? No, you quit while you're ahead, boo.
bad
I know
name.
what I'm doing. You see, because of an adult or
Okay, this is insane. Where is this leading to?
teenager's weight or height,
Okay, see, this is like, bro, this dude is at least 200. He's going down the slide like 35 miles per hour. He could very much hit that fence in the back. Y'all see that fence right there? My guy. Dad, man, you gotta move it. You gotta move it, all right? This is meant for the kids. And why do it here out of all places?
if they dive onto the water slide, they may abruptly hit or stop in
Like, what the f did you think was gonna happen? my god.
Or height, if they dive onto the water slide.
What did you think was gonna happen, bro? Y'all coming at this shit with 300 pounds at least combined together, going 35 miles plus each, bro. This is probably like 80 miles per hour. This is a car crash.
Abruptly hit or stop in such a way that could permanently damage their spine. The diver's forward momentum drives the body into the neck and compresses the spine, and no one should be messing around with your back or spinal cord.
Yo, wait, y'all know what this reminds me of?
Compresses the spine.
This frame right here with the bed. Y'all know what I used to do as a kid? Me, all the neighbors. Like, okay, there's stairs to my basement, right? Like, my basement it's a little bit of stairs, right? It's about, let's just say a normal staircase, right? Like a normal staircase, like you're going up an apartment building or something like that. Like one floor. We used to get a bed, put that shit under there, run, and fucking land on that shit. I don't know how I didn't break my neck when I was younger. It kind of looked like this. We would land like this on like a fucking bed. And it was like right under stairs. Like we were jumping a flight of stairs, basically. I don't know how I'm alive, to be honest, but yeah, I just want to mention that story, guys. I could have very much been gone from this world.
And no one should be messing around with your back or spinal cord unless they're a doctor. Anyway, even with the stern warning label, the slip and slide is still around and popular as ever. I see them quite often at my local mall.
And the new Wet Banana Super Slide 30 feet long.
My, that's a fucking big banana.
And for number 9... Aquad Dots. Wowzers, how do they
Yo, I remember these!
Number 9. Aquad Dots.
Bro, I remember this shit. I remember the ads for this. I never got it, though. Shit sounds fun. I never got it, though. Why they ban it?
Wowzers, how did they not think this one through?
I used to eat these. See, it's dumbass glue-sniffing kids like you that ruined it for the rest. Why are you eating these? Like, I understand if it was Play-Doh, because every kid ate Play-Doh. It was just an immaculate taste, but you didn't eat too much of it. Why are you eating these things?
Manufacturing. So with Aquad Dots by Spin Master firms, your artwork may come alive on the canvas. Or, sadly, it may put people in a coma. Kids can arrange these small beads in patterns, spray them with water, and the beads will fuse together, creating art.
What can you dot, then spray?
I've never eaten Play-Doh in the past 15 years of my life.
So what could possibly be dangerous about a bunch of small, easily ingestible little art dots that look like candy? Oh no, not just choking, it gets worse. You see...
Oh yeah, they do look like candy, now that I'm really thinking of it.
When some kids inevitably swallowed these beads, we discovered they were actually covered in gamma-hydroxybutyric acid, aka commonly known as the date assault drug. I'll let you fill in the blanks there. As a result, some kids had seizures and fell into—
Wait. They couldn't have chose a better material? Like a different plastic? How was this even made in the same lab as date grape drugs? How was that even possible? Okay, see, the engineers that were running this shit are fucking stupid. Same chemical composition, but still, they couldn't have used like a different type of plastic? Something else, bro? Like the plastics other brands use and stuff? Why are they using this one? Imagine instead, like, what if people, like, dudes buy this shit? Like, weirdo dudes buy this shit and, like, used it for the purpose. That would be crazy, bro.
The comas. Tragically, there was even reports of permanent critical injuries due to these art dots. One family even took Spin Master firms and Toys R Us to court due to permanent injuries to their son. Personally, for my niece, I don't get her any craft materials I haven't already tried eating myself when I was younger. So I only get a good old non-toxic Play-Doh. Oh, okay, yeah. And those soaps you get from the store that look like candy.
Oh yeah, I would eat that.
How was I to know? I was
a kid, I would
and they
eat
look
that.
tasty.
That looks delicious.
And for number 8, CSI Fingerprint Examination.
Yo, this would have had me looking like a genius. I would have been looking like a genius. I would have been smart if I had this.
And forensic lab kits.
This one is a bad one?
The FDA really botched up bad with this one. And this one was
Chemicals?
uncomfortably recent.
What the f do you mean white powder, black powder? What?
In 2007, in fact. So maybe you like CSI, or maybe you just tolerate it like me. Either way, CSI has had a massive cultural impact for both kids and adults.
Wait, how old were you supposed to be use the thing?
Watching it and somehow
if it's like 12 plus,
it looked
that's your fault.
boring.
You're not dumb as a fucking 12-year-old to do that.
He taped himself up.
Anyway, apparently enough kids actually watched this show to justify a toy kit for CSI. No surprise, these forensic dust kits allowed kids to dust for fingerprints, similarly to how it was done on the show. But how this actually managed to get by the FDA is just beyond me, because the powder in the kits actually had asbestos in it. In fact, the asbestos...
Didn't they ban asbestos like in the 90s? That's the shit I remember they used to put in the roofs and stuff like that, and then people would get like cancer from it. FDA? I swear the FDA is just dumb as hell, bro. How does this even pass? Nah, I'd be f***ed up if I did like a CSI kit and then it turns out I got cancer from it.
Asbestos Awareness Association found it to have over 7% tremolite. That is one of the most fatal types of asbestos of all. How the bejeebus did that ever get by the FDA?
The people who use asbestos cement siding report with satisfaction.
Oh, that sucks.
That being said, just a reminder, there is no safe level of exposure for any type of asbestos. And kids could just waft this dust all over the house to look for fingerprints. Brilliant, guys. Why not just save time and start a sharp scissors running club for all the CSI fans in the neighborhood? CSI, we've got a new case for you. What bonehead in the FDA let this CSI kit on the shelves? But if you take on this case, just be careful what dust you use for fingerprints. And for number 7, it's a swing wing.
You got me damned and f***ed up if I'm about to walk outside as a kid with this, bro. I'm gonna be looking sped as f***, walking around with a Where's the fun in this? Where's the fun in this? This is gonna cut someone? Wait, is there... They put a razor on it? That would be a crazy weapon. I'm just realizing. Like, if I just walking around. Hit somebody with it.
What?
It's a swing wing. Prepare for what may be the dumbest idea you will ever hear, with the most frustratingly catchy song since that stupid shark song. To avoid it getting seared into your brain like it's been to mine, I'll only play a small part of the song.
I can already tell. Imagine the dizziness you would get from doing this for like 30 minutes. You must just die after that, right? Like after I spit in my chair, you know, you just like spit in your chair randomly, spin in your chair 10 times, you get dizzy. Imagine doing this shit for like 30 minutes or an hour. You gotta just die.
It's a swing wing, it's a wing wing, a brand new transparent fun thing.
It's a
What?
So do you want a hula hoop? Well, according to my age analytics, you probably don't want a hula hoop
Not too different
at all.
from the local
But if you do,
crackers.
no judgment, you probably didn't want that hula hoop for your head. But hey, people in 1965 had a coffee, cigarette, and donut for breakfast and considered it healthy. So maybe they somehow thought these neck-twisting streamer hats were a popular trend. But even these 60s kids look in literal agony as they jank around their heads
Doesn't
in the
even look
stupidest hat in the world. Like, this thing looks deeply uncomfortable to wear. Unfortunately, getting a neck...
Is he f***ing doing Pilates?
Like, this thing looks deeply uncomfortable to wear.
It's stretching. He's doing calisthenics while spinning a thing on his head. This gotta be the #1 way to injure yourself, doing any type of exercise.
Unfortunately, getting a neck-supported hula hoop hat resulted in
probably
some
get
very
brain
serious
damage.
injuries. It was swung by moving the head back and forth in a twisty, jerky motion. Perhaps surprising people of the 1960s, this resulted in cerebral hemorrhaging and spinal injuries. This is of course tragic.
Who would've
But
known?
seriously, what in our painfully injury-prone Homo sapien history has ever indicated that the human neck is a flexible organ to be twisted and played around with? I feel neck pain just watching these poor kids. Oh, and once again, fair warning, don't play too much of this song. I watched half of it and I have been humming that stupid swing wing song in my head for the last week.
I'm good, bro.
It's a swing wing. It's... Oh yeah, good idea, Boo. Let's move on.
It's a swing wing.
It's a
No surprise there. Natural selection
Number
selection
6.
undefeated.
Snack time Cabbage Patch Doll.
Oh my god, I think I know about this. It was this doll. If I'm not wrong, this doll was like eating little girls' hairs or something. Something crazy like that. I don't know. This is the one I actually have heard of.
Oh,
Eat
this
your
one
fingers? Oh my god, that's even worse.
is just too terrible to be true. I swear, history just gave us
I
this
thought it
one
was
on
hair.
a platter. So if you're old enough to remember, you might
Both?
recall the Cabbage Patch Dolls.
Come with birth certificate, adoption papers, and bio card, each sold separately.
They were so popular, they actually managed to make Bacon Boy Peppa Pig look obscure.
And I will marry Pedro or Danny. And
We just couldn't escape these things. Every second person seemed to have one. Mattel
They're so creepy. And why are they so fat?
We just couldn't escape these things.
It's crazy how shit changed, because nowadays, like, little girls are playing with, like, the Barbies or Bratz dolls or something like that. These dolls are so fat.
Second person seemed
like crazy how things change.
To have one. Mattel released the infamous Snack Time Kid, and it comes with real chewing action, with such overpowered motorized jaws that it could actually swallow a kid's hair straight off their head. No ability to reverse or stop these jaws.
Did they never, like, test it?
Unable to reverse or stop, the rollers inside continued to go and go until the object entered and exited successfully.
An unstoppable child.
So did it just ingest the whole child? How did you even survive? If it took your hair and it had to come out the other end, how did you even survive?
Chomping doll. What could possibly go wrong?
What could possibly go wrong?
And unfortunately, the doll
Nigga said, hear me out. Yeah, you're banned for life, buddy.
Couldn't associate between the plastic snacks and, well, literally anything else fed to it. I mean, did Mattel really not assume that kids would try to feed it literally anything else that wasn't bolted down? And unfortunately, some kids accidentally ended up feeding the doll their hair.
Unwittingly, their hair.
As a result, some children suffered injuries to their hands, while others got their hair caught in the doll's mouth. One poor girl was even left partly bald when the doll snagged her hair and it was nearly pulled out of her scalp.
Got into the doll's mouth and it started going.
And the crazy thing is, that's a little girl, bro. She started off with the baldness. Usually you get bald and shit when you're older. She started off with it.
And if you're watching this now, 27-year-old woman, I'm sorry, that must have been traumatizing. In one extreme case, one mother even had to chop off all of her daughter's hair just to stop the monstrous thing from swallowing her daughter's hair.
The face was so tight against the top of her head, pushed down like this, there was no way I could cut the hair.
In 1997, after Mattel had received over 100 complaints of their cannibal dolls, they made the biggest recall they've ever done, with a full refund.
All they did is give $40 back?
And offered to over 500,000 owners. Yeah, it's a good point. Some people might need to use that for a toupee. I guess Mattel figured that dolls that eat parts of your children won't be too popular on the Christmas shopping list that year. Well, who would have thunk?
Yeah, they didn't have no power button. I'm just realizing, how hard would it be for them to have like a stop motor button? Wouldn't have been hard at all.
Number 5. JOTS, aka lawn dart.
Okay, y'all said y'all heard of lawn darts. I've never heard of this. This is legit. This looks like an arrow tip to me. Doesn't even make any sense.
Whether you consider this game horseshoes or darts, JOTS can be downright dangerous. In fact, since JOTS first started production, thousands of people have been sent to the emergency rooms due to JOTS injuries. And sadly, at least one person has been killed by JOTS. But even for those who weren't too badly injured, I'm sure they weren't too pleased about being.
Who died? How? How sharp are they? I'm genuinely shocked. How sharp are the tips? I know it's lawn darts, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you could stick something dull into the ground and it's gonna go inside a little bit. It's gonna confirm it. They must have been like razor sharp deep. A 4-year-old? Damn.
Impaled by these things. Basically, JOTS is played a little bit like horseshoes, in that you set up the plastic rings and throw the foot-long metal tip darts.
Okay, that looks insane. Now that I'm really looking at it, that looks like a nail, like an industrial nail. That's the type of nail they use at construction sites to hold up buildings. Why is this in a kid's toy?
And hope like hell they don't hit someone passing by.
These missiles, as the box calls them, not only have caused thousands of serious injuries, but also many broken windows and car dents.
By October 1970, the FDA required JOTS have an even bigger label saying, "Warning, not a toy for use by children. May cause serious or fatal injury." That can't have been particularly wild marketing for their product. Plus, the JOTS could no longer be sold in any toy departments of any kind. Sadly, even this labeling didn't seem to have much of an effect, and the injuries just kept rolling in. By December, the US Secretary of Health, Education and Welfare was asked to use emergency provisions of the Child Protection and Toy Safety Act to outright ban JOTS. The judge failed to uphold the ban though, and it wasn't until a tragic death in 1987 that JOTS were banned. Over the 8 years since the ban was first denied, over 6,100 Americans had to have visits to the emergency rooms due to JOTS, and
Okay, I feel like that's just because a lot of them gotta be because of mistakes on their own. Because the thing is, okay, kids, yes, I understand kids shouldn't be playing with it. If you got full-grown adults getting injured over playing this, that had to be their fault. Like somebody was throwing this shit and then they just ran into it. Because how do you get, how does this even happen? You have to set up the game and everything. Unless if like they're playing, people are stupid, they're playing like a public park or something. They throw it up and it hits somebody, that's the person's fault. But a lot of these gotta be because Americans are just dumb as shit and they don't know what they're doing. Throwing it straight up, drunk people, yeah, it has to be. It has to be, because there's no way all these are either just like accidental or like kids being stupid. I refuse to believe it.
3 deaths occurred.
The
main
landing
problem
zone
was the long metal tips of these things. It actually makes them quite similar to the Imperial Roman missile weapon, the plumbata.
What the fuck? Wow. Oh no, that's way worse. Where is this, in Russia? Where do you say?
As you can imagine, those Romans weren't aiming for plastic circles. So it's a bit like giving a kid a ninja star and watching them play hacky sack with it. What'd you think was gonna happen?
These are real ninja stars, so you can throw them and they stab into wood and cardboard.
By this point, as you might have guessed, selling JOTS of any kind in the USA is outright illegal. On the plus side, if there are still any lawn dart enthusiasts out there, Canada did release a plastic version, which is hopefully still fun and considerably
I was about to say, why wasn't this released in the first place? Like, it's not that hard to make it plastic. And it would have stuck in the ground, like, unless if you're playing on not sand, like hard dirt, very hard dirt.
Less dangerous for kids.
We love
Hopefully in the future,
javelin.
we don't make toys and lawn games out of Roman war weapons. And for the 4th most dangerous toy, the clackerballs. Just
no.
Move them.
No way we got a JoJo reference. No way we got a JoJo reference. The clackerballs? Hold up now, this is a real thing? This is a real thing? I didn't even know this was a toy, bro. But I thought it was genuinely a weapon. Bro, Joseph Joestar was using that shit as a weapon. Not gonna lie, I can't take this one seriously.
Them up and watch them explode. Shrapnel injuries may occur. So in the late 1960s, a lot of people suddenly started playing with 2 metal balls on a string, aka clackers. And seeing these things in action is actually quite a spectacle. Unfortunately, as fun as they were, many would also explode.
Oh my
The resulting
God.
debris basically acted as shrapnel from an exploding bomb, potentially
fast
sending
as hell.
glass shards into users' faces and anyone nearby. But already by the early 70s, millions of these clackers had been sold to consumers.
No, I can imagine Bruce Lee.
Interestingly, we once again
It's gotta be racially motivated. What the f was that?
have a toy that resembles a weapon from history. In this case, clackers were quite similar to what's known as the boladoras, the Argentinian cowboy's weapon of choice. A throwing weapon typically used to hunt and tangle the legs of animals. Anyway, the explodey problems typically came from the acrylic plastic versions, also known as plexiglass, a well-known alternative to glass. So we now have millions of cowboy glass weapon projectiles that explode. What could possibly go wrong? But when the toy manufacturers tried making clackers out of plastic instead,
Imagine playing with metal balls and it explodes. Yeah, that would probably lead to death, because your shit would, you would just get stabbed by the metal in your neck and it'd be over.
even these exploded. And this time, the inevitable boom was seen as a blinding hazard. So now, the Prevention of Blindness Society issued a warning about clackers. And, you know, blindness...
They got a society for everything. Prevention of Blindness Society. That'd just be a society. I need to make a new society. Like, I mean, it's good that they issued a cause, but like, damn, bro, what else do y'all do other than like do stuff like that?
Warnings aren't particularly good marketing for toys, but I do believe there's a silver lining to many bad situations.
Of Tommy NFG.
And I think the silver lining here is that the FDA set new safety standards that required stringent testing and record keeping, all because of clackers. But eventually, our explodey clacker toy was banned, and the Consumer Product Safety Commission was formed. So, stringent child toy safety standards? Well, you can thank clackers for that. By 1976, the clackers were deemed a mechanical hazard. But fortunately, decades of research has provided modern society with materials that do not explode. So if you so choose, safe modern versions of clackers can potentially be bought.
Nah, I want the one that explodes though. I feel like they went, I feel like they felt way more crazier, bro. Nowadays, like, look, this doesn't even look like it's fun. It doesn't even look like it has a chance of, like, you know what I'm saying, hurting somebody. Boring.
Though personally, I never would. I find that endless clicking sound really annoying. And for the third most dangerous toy... I feel bad about putting some of these choices on the list, because some kids really can learn...
Oh, I remember these. No, who remembers the edible one? Wasn't, like, y'all know these, we all know these mold machines, right? Y'all remember there was, like, an edible version or something like that? I used to want that so badly as a kid. I don't know why. It was like a gummy version. You, like, put the juice or something like that. Like, you put the juice into the mold, and then, like, it makes, you know, it makes the gummy.
A lot from these toys. The creepy crawlers allow kids to make their own unique creative inventions. This product taught craft skills to kids in injection plastic molding, because apparently Mattel just threw up their hands and said, fine kids, you make your own toys. You see, back in the 1960s, many kids were either looking at the military or a manufacturing job for their future jobs. So kids were encouraged.
Such a sad outlook they had before, because this is like post-war times. The only options they have, like, we have so many options, the only options is like, oh, you gotta work in a factory or you gotta go to the military. Pick one. I would have been damned if I lived there, lived then.
To learn basic manufacturing processes in toy form. Known as a thing maker in the 60s, kids had to squirt the goop into molds before heating them up on a searing 200°C open hot plate, resulting in little plastic bugs. And, you know, people of the 60s discovered that a searing hot heater isn't the safest toy for kids.
Oh my god.
And even if a parent trusted their kid with an open hot plate, the problem...
What's the boiling water temperature? Hold up. Boiling water temperature is 212. It's 12 off. That's ridiculous. I know my ass would have been burned on that too. I know I would have got burned on that. If I was a kid, I probably would have been dumb as hell and just put my wiener on it or something. And then my whole shit would have been seared. Would have been burned to this day.
Problems didn't stop there. When the kids heated and created these creepy crawler, they were potentially exposed to toxic fumes. And funnily enough, many of the commenters talking about creepy crawlers say they remember best being burned and the funny smell. Probably not a great combination. Although Mattel discontinued the item eventually, by 1992, Toy Max had brought them back. And I actually remember the ads for these Toy Max ones when I was a kid.
They're squirmy and wormy and purple and green, the grossest little creatures that you've ever seen.
And by the 90s, the crawlers had some new safety measures. Instead of the kids injecting the goop into sizzling hot molds, the molds were put inside an oven that was secured until it cooled. Nowadays, though, the fad of creepy crawlers is well and truly died.
See, like, you don't understand shit. Like, as a kid, you're gonna understand if you burn yourself, not to do it again, like not to touch the stove. The way I learned not to touch the stove, y'all, I burned my hand, bro, when I was like in middle school, and it was like a giant fucking blister on my hand, and I popped it in class, and all the water, like the water juices in my hand, fell out. Never again, bro. Now every time I touch the oven or whatever, or I cook anything in the oven, I make sure to have the fucking gloves on. I actually have PTSD from that. I promise you, I have PTSD from that. It was not a good time. You don't listen to your parents to not touch the stove for the first time. See, you gotta understand, I was cooking as a youngin'. All right, I was fucking cooking. I was a chef. I made like a fucking Chicago style pizza or something like that in the oven, and it was the pot handle, and I took it out the oven with the oven mitts, right? But all of a sudden later on, 5 minutes later, I forgot it was still hot, the handle, and I touched the handle. My hand was fucking cooked. Literally, it was actually cooked.
Down, and I couldn't find any place on the internet to buy a modern version of creepy crawlers.
Where's the edible ones?
On to the next one.
Edible
Crawlers Workshop with plastic goof.
And for the second most dangerous toy, Gilbert's glass blowing set.
This year at Gilbert,
glass
we
blowing?
present the finest toy line.
That already sounds dangerous.
Gilbert. You may not know this toy manufacturer now, but by Jeebus you will. They produce such friendly and child-safe toys as the children's glass blowing set. You know, why not give a 60s kid a glass, a tube, and an open hot flame and see what they make? Here's really hoping not too much permanent scarring. Speaking as someone who has burned his face off before, I would know open flames are no joke. And just to top it off, Gilbert's toys were endorsed by Superman himself. Possibly because he's the only thing alive that wouldn't be damaged by these trinkets. Gilbert marketed this as a necessary device to help children learn a valuable skill when it was released in 1909. Kids had to learn to glass blow in 1909? It's worth mentioning though, Gilbert may have helped bring about the scientific...
Okay, this job does look cool though, like making these molds and stuff like that do look pretty cool to me.
Minds that
Would I work it? No, because I know for a fact, I cannot risk this shit because I know The day one of these lava things or fire splashes on my face is the day I'm done. I'm done for it. I'm chopped forever, and there's nothing I could do.
Help shape our future today.
We thought it was a good idea to give kids things that will melt their faces off.
Anyway, Gilbert's various kits taught the fundamentals of science and let kids do dangerous experiments on their own, including with molten lead, hydrochloric acid, and melted glass, or possibly some
acid. Why? Did they not think... Actually, you know, to be fair, this was like the 1909. That's when it said it came out. Yeah, no, they didn't even care, bro. They were snorting. They still had cocaine and coke. Actually, I kind of want that back, but they did not have no safety standards.
Something even worse. Stick with me for a second. It's about to get even weirder.
Gilbert was on some.
This is our story.
And now for a couple of quick honorable mentions.
Talk to me.
The Sky Dancers.
Wait, I remember these. Am I tripping?
If you were alive in the 90s, you might remember these soaring concussion makers. In 1994, Gilbert released these flying ballerina
Okay, that could smack the fuck out of
and they were
somebody
a reasonable success at 9 million sold. Unfortunately, many injuries were reported over the years, ranging from temporary blindness to a broken rib to broken teeth, even facial lacerations that required stitches. Ouchies. Eventually, by the year 2000, nearly 9 million of these were recalled by Galoob. And you might know Galoob nowadays as Hasbro, the Moon Shoes.
Oh my god. Nah, this should be number one. This shouldn't be honorable mention.
I gotta admit, when I saw this toy, I thought, hey, I'd actually try this. I love.
Bro, I tried that shit. I tried the Moon Shoes, bro, when I was in elementary school. I literally broke my ankle in the first fall. Okay, not break, but like as in I landed on my ankle. Luckily I didn't break it, but like, bro, that shit was crazy. I don't even know why they had it, bro, when I was growing up. Thought they outlawed this shit like a long time ago. Really looking at this, I don't even know why it was still allowed.
Trampolines. I even have one I use in my living room all the time. Sure, as a kid my old trampoline gave me a concussion, but it was worth it. Jumping was awesome. As Bustle pointed out, these Moon Shoes essentially...
They were exactly these. It was this exact pair right here too. Look how dangerous this is. Like, what if one of these rubber bands snaps? The whole thing is done for. You're literally falling in that shit and you're done for after that.
Attached tiny trampolines to the feet of uncoordinated kids, which probably wasn't the best idea to avoid a lawsuit. Very quickly, these Moon Shoes coined the nickname ankle breakers.
See, look, she almost fell doing it.
The original design of these Moon Shoes was essentially springs on sharp metal wrapped around your shoes. You can still get adult versions of the shoes now.
What the fuck? Nigga, you look goofy as fuck. Nah, I couldn't imagine walking in front of your crush with these on. Yeah, that's instant repellent right there.
A little safer, but personally, I'm sticking with the trampoline.
The guy could have made these Moon Shoes.
Anyway, with those mentioned, on to number one. And I can say pretty comfortably, the number one most dangerous toy in history is Gilbert's radioactive science kit. Yes, I am dead freaking serious.
No, it's gotta be a troll.
In the 1950s, this was a toy. So, after the Gilbert glass-blowing set, Gilbert decided his next project was to give as many...
Hold on, wait. Are they still around? Because y'all know uranium sells for a lot, right? Like, y'all know uranium sells... If these are still around, I'm gonna have to cop me some. I'm gonna have to cop me a kit and resell the uranium in it. Uranium is expensive. These are fun. See, there's always one freak-ass kid that did this. Like, I wouldn't even be surprised, bro, if you did it.
Kids as possible radioactive material. So in the 50s, kids lucky enough to have rich parents might have been able to afford the massively expensive $50 required to buy Gilbert's radioactive science kit.
That was like $500 back in the day.
Hooray! This briefcase-sized set included a Geiger counter used to measure radiation, electroscope, and 4 jars of uranium ore. This, I guess, was so the kids could prospect for uranium. In fact, young atomic scientists could use the...
Can you imagine they like allowed this now with kids? Like, kids back then were more smarter and they knew different things. Imagine Gen Z kids and like Gen Alpha kids with this. Oh yeah, it would be a massacre. 50% of the population would be gone. 50% of the population would be fucking gone. They'd be doing dumb shit with it.
Manual to request
Sponsored by
more
Robert J.
uranium.
Oppenheimer.
I just have no words for this. With this toy, kids could create and watch chemical reactions with radioactive material, which is wonderful for the growth of science, but also wonderful for the growth of chronic radiation syndrome. Astonishingly, the set was only available from 1951 to 1952. But no, it wasn't removed because they were giving kids uranium, but instead because it was a whole $50. And back in 1951, that was a lot of cash. Adjusting for inflation, it was over $500. Fast forward to the modern day, Dr.
Wait, I was actually right. I said 500.
Darkus has actually kept a copy of this 1950s toy at the Museum of Science in Chicago, and she gives a fantastic explanation in her own video. If you're curious, I've left a link in the description.
It's because it comes with 3 sources of radiation and 4 uranium ores that are also radioactive.
As of today, this is a rare and valuable adult collectible.
Who even has fun with this as a kid? Like, if I saw this shit, I'd be like, what is the point of this? Are you making live uranium? Like, it's about to be glowing and shit? It got discontinued because it was a failure, I guess. Hey, as long as it's off the market, at least it got off the market. This is what toys Elon would buy his kids if he had them.
Nowadays, this toy is worth over $1,700. And also nowadays, having Gilbert's toy chemicals on you will almost certainly get you arrested or on the NSA watch list. Anyway, I think these toys show that there's a definite difference between coddling and making sure kids don't have toys that maim or kill them. Nowadays, of course, many parents have to be content with watching their kids play with a mobile phone, a tablet, or a PC. Or their kids
alright, good video, man. Thank you, Mr. Phantom Strider. You know what, y'all? I feel like the generation before had it better. Me personally, instead of kids playing with iPads, why don't they play with uranium kits and glass blowing kits and, lawn darts? It might get them killed, but hey, at least you're, stepped into reality. Alright, but, anyways, if you're watching this on the tube, join the Discord.